I never imagined my wedding night would begin with silence. Not the soft, peaceful kind, the heavy, aching type that sits on your chest and refuses to leave. When the door clicked shut behind him, I just stood there in my white dress, staring at the place where he had been standing moments ago. Ethan didn't look back. He didn't even hesitate. Just walked out of our room in our little rented cabin outside Asheville, North Carolina. While the sound of the wind brushed against the wooden walls like a warning I didn't understand yet, I kept replaying our vows in my head. His promises, his hands shaking when he held mine, the way he kissed my forehead like he was afraid he'd lose me. And yet here I was alone on the night we were supposed to start our forever. The clock on the bedside table glowed 11:52 p.m. I sat on the edge of the bed, my dress gathered around me, my heart trying so hard to stay steady. He had said, "I just need a minute." But an hour had passed. And then another. My phone buzzed once. A message from my sister asking how the night was going. I didn't reply. How do you tell someone your husband walked out minutes after the wedding? I told myself to breathe, to not assume the worst, that maybe he was overwhelmed, maybe he needed air, maybe. 12:03 a.m. That's when I heard it. A sound coming from downstairs. Soft at first, like something being dragged across the wooden floor. Then a quiet thud. Then another. And another. As if someone or something was moving through the living room. My heart hammered so loudly I could hear it in my ears. I stood, slowly lifting the hem of my dress so it wouldn't catch on the stairs. Every step felt heavier than the last. The hallway was dim, lit only by the moonlight slipping through the small windows. The air felt colder, sharper, like the house itself was holding its breath with me. As I reached the bottom step, I could hear it clearly breathing. Not mine. Not Ethan's. A slow, shaky exhale coming from right behind the kitchen counter. "Ethan," I whispered, my voice barely a sound. No answer. I stepped forward, each movement careful, my fingers trembling as they brushed the edge of the counter. And then someone stood up. Slowly, deliberately. A tall, shadowy figure, shoulders rising as if startled. And then the face came into view. It was Ethan, but not the Ethan I married earlier that day. His eyes were swollen, red, filled with something between fear and guilt. His hands were shaking uncontrollably, his shirt slightly torn on the side. "Why aren't you upstairs?" I whispered. He didn't answer. Instead, he stepped toward me, just one step, and I could smell the cold night air on him, mixed with something metallic, something sharp. Blood. Fresh. I gasped and stumbled back. "Ethan, what happened?" He looked at the floor. "Emily, please don't be scared. I swear I didn't mean for tonight to go like this." I felt my breath catch. "Where did you go?" He closed his eyes. I wasn't alone out there. My entire body froze. And the cabin, the quiet, perfect cabin we chose for our honeymoon, suddenly felt like the last place on earth I should be standing. Before I could speak, he grabbed my hand gently, his voice cracking. "They followed me here. And I don't know how much time we have." The lights flickered. Something thumped against the porch outside. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't just afraid for my marriage. I was afraid for my life. The air inside the cabin changed. I could feel it tightening, growing heavier with every second Ethan refused to meet my eyes. My hand was still in his, but it felt cold, unfamiliar, like he was holding on only because he didn't know what else to do. A soft scraping sound moved across the porch again. Ethan's grip tightened. "Emily, listen to me," he whispered, his voice trembling. "I'm begging you, don't panic. Just stay close." I pulled my hand back, swallowing hard. "You walked out on our wedding night. You came back covered in blood. And now something is outside this cabin. You need to tell me what's going on." He ran a hand through his hair, pacing once, twice like he was fighting himself. "I should have told you before the wedding," he finally said. His voice cracked mid-sentence. I thought I could outrun it." "Outrun what?" I stepped forward, heart pounding. "Ethan, what followed you?" He turned toward the door as if expecting somebody, or something, to burst in at any moment. "I didn't leave to run away from you," he said softly. "I left because I saw them at the gas station on the way here. 4 of them, watching me, the same way they did years ago." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean years ago?" He took a shaky breath. When I was 17, I made a mistake. A stupid, reckless mistake. And someone got hurt bad. Their family never forgave me. I thought they moved on. But tonight, I realized they didn't. I felt my breath freeze. He wasn't talking about ghosts. He wasn't talking about monsters. He was talking about people. Human beings driven by something darker than any haunting. What did you do? I whispered. I didn't kill anyone, he said quickly, desperately. But my friend almost did. And I took the blame. I signed the confession to protect him because he had a little sister and no parents. And because I thought the family would calm down if I took responsibility. He closed his eyes for a long moment. But they didn't. They wanted revenge on the one who signed the papers, me. Before I could speak, a loud bang hit the cabin door. I jumped, my heart flying into my throat. Ethan pulled me close. They followed us here. I saw their car parked down the hill. I went outside to try and reason with them. It didn't work. Another bang, harder this time, wood splintered near the hinges. Ethan, I choked out. Why didn't you tell me before? Why wait until now? He looked at me with eyes full of regret. I thought I could protect you. I thought I could make our wedding night perfect. I thought I could keep my past away from my future. A voice outside yelled something we couldn't understand. Angry, muffled, fueled with hatred. Ethan flinched. They won't hurt you, he whispered. They're here for me. And you think I'm going to just let them take you? My voice rose without my permission. We just promised to spend our life together today. He looked at me like he wasn't expecting that answer. Like he thought I'd run. Another slam hit the door. The frame shook violently. Ethan pulled me behind him instinctively. Emily, he said quietly. I need you to hide. Please. No, I grabbed his arm with both hands, refusing to let go. We faced this together. His breathing grew uneven. His eyes glistened. And for the first time tonight I saw fear. Not of what was outside, but of losing me. A final thunderous crash echoed through the cabin. And the door broke open. Ethan pushed me back just as the cold night air flooded in, carrying with it footsteps, shadows, and the past he could no longer escape. The door slammed against the wall so hard the entire cabin trembled. Cold night air rushed in, carrying pine, dirt, and the unmistakable scent of danger. Ethan stepped in front of me without hesitation, his arms slightly spread like a shield. Four silhouettes filled the doorway. Tall, broad, silent, their faces hidden in the shadows, only the shine of their eyes catching the moonlight seeping through the trees behind them. The tallest one stepped forward first. His boots thudded heavily on the wooden floor. Each step deliberate, controlled. The kind of man who didn't need to yell to be terrifying. His presence alone was enough. My heartbeat pounded in my ears, but I forced myself to stay still behind Ethan. Ethan Hale, the man said, his deep voice echoing through the cabin. You thought you could hide forever? Ethan didn't move, didn't flinch. But I felt the tension in his body, the way his shoulders locked, the way his breath hitched for just a fraction of a second. I told you, Ethan said quietly. I took the blame. I did the time. You got what you wanted. The man chuckled, low and joyless. You think time fixes what you did? Ethan clenched his hands into fists. I'm not letting you hurt her. Whatever you came for. We didn't come for her, the man interrupted, stepping closer, his boots scraping the floor. She's nothing to us. He paused, then smiled, a slow, cold curl of his mouth. But you owe us a debt. One night in a cell doesn't balance what we lost. My stomach twisted. Who were these people? What did Ethan's past destroy? The second man stepped forward, arms crossed, face still shadowed. Come outside. We can settle this the old way. Ethan took a tiny step back toward me, not toward them. A protective move. A desperate one. No, his voice was firm. This ends here. Whatever you want from me, you're not getting it. The men exchanged looks. Silent signals. A decision. And then the tallest one's gaze shifted. Not to me. Not to Ethan. To the corner of the living room. At the old metal fireplace, poker leaning against the stone hearth. He reached for it. Slowly. Deliberately. My breath locked in my chest. Ethan stepped forward instantly. "Don't. You going to stop me?" the man asked, sliding the metal rod into his hand with a chilling scrape. Ethan didn't answer. Silence stretched between them like a thin piece of glass ready to shatter. "You ruined my brother's life," the man said. His voice cracked, not with anger but grief. Raw, wounded grief. He never recovered from that night. Never. Something shifted behind Ethan's eyes. Guilt, old and deep. "I tried to apologize. I tried to reach out. We didn't want your apology." The man lifted the poker slightly. "We wanted justice." Suddenly, the third man, the one near the door, noticed me for the first time. His head tilted. "This your wife?" Ethan moved instinctively, blocking me completely. "Leave her out of this." But the man kept staring. "Funny," he muttered. "You're just like your father, protecting the wrong people." Ethan froze. Every muscle in his body turned rigid. My breath caught. I had never heard him talk about his father that way. "What did you say?" Ethan asked, his voice lower, tighter. The man smirked. "You didn't tell her, did you?" A terrifying quiet fell between all of us. The room felt smaller, warmer, suffocating. Ethan whispered, "Don't." But the man ignored him. "Your father made the same mistake you did. Covered for someone. Lied. And someone paid the price." My heart raced. Ethan's secrets were stacking on top of each other like a collapsing tower. "You don't know anything about my father," Ethan snapped, stepping forward. "Sure I do." The man's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. "He died because of the same lie you're still trying to keep alive." Ethan lunged. I screamed. The men surged forward. The poker glinted in the dim cabin light. And in that frantic, terrifying second, I understood something I hadn't realized until now. This wasn't about revenge. Not anymore. This was about unfinished history, family debts, secrets buried so deep they were rotting from the inside. And tonight, our wedding night, everything was going to come boiling to the surface whether we were ready or not. Ethan lunged so fast I barely saw his feet leave the ground. The tallest man jerked back, gripping the fireplace poker like he expected a fight, but Ethan wasn't attacking him. He was shoving him aside, driving his shoulder into the man's chest just long enough to push him away from the doorway, and away from me. "Emily, run!" Ethan shouted. But before the command even left his mouth, the second man caught him by the back of the shirt and yanked him backward with brutal force. Ethan stumbled, crashing into the wooden wall hard enough to knock one of the picture frames to the floor. I gasped, a cold shock rushing through my entire body. "Stop!" I cried instinctively, taking a step toward him. The man with the poker swung it down, smashing the floor inches from Ethan's hand. The metal clanged loudly, sending a jolt through the room. Ethan crawled back, chest heaving, trying to get to his feet. The leader, tall, broad, eyes dark with grief, pointed the poker directly at Ethan's throat. "Don't move," he growled. Ethan froze. My entire body went cold. The man's voice was quieter now, controlled, deadly. "You could have come outside. Could have ended this clean. But you're still hiding. Still choosing the coward's way like your old man." Ethan's jaw tightened, his breath unsteady. "Don't talk about him." The man took another step forward, poker still raised. "You think we don't know? You think this ends with you?" His voice dropped to a low, almost mournful tone. "Your father lied for a friend who didn't deserve saving. Just like you did." Ethan's shoulders lifted slightly, a silent flinch. "You know what your father's lie cost us," the man continued. "It cost my family everything. Started with him, not you. You just picked up where he left off." My head spun. Ethan had never spoken about his father with anything more than sadness or silence. Never about this. The leader took another step, now close enough that Ethan had to tilt his head up to maintain eye contact. "And now," the man whispered, "you think marrying her makes you a better man? You think love erases what you did?" I stepped forward, my voice shaking. "Stop, please. This isn't justice. It's cruelty. Whatever happened, it happened years ago." The man's eyes snapped to mine so sharply it felt like a slap. "You weren't there," he hissed. "You didn't watch your own brother lose everything because someone else decided to play hero." His voice cracked, pain raw and exposed for just a second. Then it hardened again. He turned his attention back to Ethan. "Bring him outside," he ordered the others. The second man grabbed Ethan's arm and dragged him up. Ethan tried to resist, twisting his body, but the third man slammed a fist into his ribs, forcing a strangled groan out of him. "No!" I screamed, rushing forward. The leader stepped in front of me, blocking my path with a single movement. "You stay here." I shoved him, but he barely moved. He didn't raise a hand to hit me. He didn't even look angry, just tired. "You don't understand," he said quietly. "Tonight is not about you." Behind him, Ethan fought harder now, kicking, elbowing, trying to break free, but he was outnumbered. One man twisted his arm behind his back. Another shoved him toward the door. His shoes scraped against the wood as he dug his heels in. "Emily!" Ethan shouted, voice sharp with desperation. "Stay inside. Don't come out. No matter what you hear." That only terrified me more. "Stop!" I cried again, pushing toward them, but the leader's arm shot out, stopping me cold. "Enough!" Ethan yelled, voice breaking. "Don't touch her. Don't you dare!" The men dragged him onto the porch. The night swallowed his voice as they pulled him into the darkness. The door swung open wider from the force, letting a harsh burst of icy air whip through the cabin. The leader turned back one last time. His eyes landed on me. Not angry, not triumphant, just hollow. "If you come outside," he said softly, "you'll see something you can't ever forget." My breath shattered. He stepped out and pulled the broken door shut behind him. The cabin fell silent, except for Ethan's voice fading into the night, and the cold, brutal realization sinking in. I was alone. Again. On my wedding night. But this time, the danger wasn't inside the cabin. It was taking my husband away. I barely slept that night. The darkness felt heavier than usual, as if something in that room was quietly breathing with me. And through all of it, only one question kept circling my mind. Why did he leave me alone on our wedding night? When the first soft light of morning crept into the room, I noticed the door was exactly the same as before. Closed. Silent. Untouched. No footprints. No sound. Nothing that proved he ever returned. But the weight in my heart only grew heavier. I walked to the dressing table and stopped. There was a small envelope lying there. It definitely wasn't there last night. I was sure of it. With trembling fingers, I picked it up. On the front, a single line was written. "What you heard was only the beginning." My breath caught in my throat. The handwriting didn't feel unfamiliar. Felt personal, as if someone who already knew me had written it. Before I could decide whether to open it, the curtain behind me gave a slight swish. I turned instantly. The window was closed, but the curtains were moving, like someone had just passed by. My heartbeat climbed to my ears. Still, I tore the envelope open. Inside was a photograph. Not of me, not of our room, but of the old wing of the hotel. The one the staff had warned us about. The one no one used anymore because of an incident. In the corner of the photo, a red marker circled a spot. A dark half-open door. Beneath it, a note. "He returns only when a new guest arrives." Cold spread through my chest. A new guest. Does that mean me? My phone suddenly buzzed. Sender RIs. Time, 5:07 a.m. Message. Stay away from room 314. I'll explain everything. But our booking was in room 302. So what was 314? And more importantly, why was he warning me? Before I could process it, another message appeared. Sender, unknown. Message. He's still here. The tapping started again. This time louder. Closer. Right on the other side of the door. And in that moment, something finally clicked inside me. Whatever I heard last night wasn't from a living person. This story had only just begun. I froze where I stood, clutching my phone so tightly my fingers began to ache. The tapping on the door wasn't stopping. It was becoming more urgent, almost impatient. Like whoever or whatever was outside had run out of patience overnight. I forced myself to step back, my breathing shallow, every instinct in my body screaming at me not to go near that door. But curiosity, fear, And something deeper, something I couldn't quite name, kept me rooted in place. The tapping stopped. Silence. A silence so thick it felt like the walls were listening. And then, a soft, barely audible whisper seeped under the door. A whisper that sounded like my name. My knees weakened. No one here knew my name except our eyes. And that voice, that cold, dragging voice, wasn't his. I swallowed hard, holding the phone close to my chest. Another buzz lit up the screen. Our eyes again. Don't open the door. I'm coming. I stared at the message, my pulse racing. Coming from where? He never came back last night. Where had he been? A shadow passed across the bottom gap of the door. Slow, deliberate, like someone pacing right outside. It paused, then shifted direction. Footsteps, but not the steady, rhythmic kind. These sounded uneven, dragging, as if someone was pulling one leg behind them. The steps moved away. I let out a shaky breath and backed toward the window, needing distance, needing air. My reflection in the glass looked pale, frightened, almost unfamiliar. Behind me, the room felt wrong, like its corners were darker, deeper, holding secrets they shouldn't. Just then, someone knocked on the window. 2 sharp taps. My heart jumped into my throat. We were on the 6th floor. No balcony, no ledge, no way for anyone to knock from outside. The air turned colder. My breath fogged faintly in the glass. Another tap. I forced myself to look, and instantly stumbled backward. There was a face, pressed against the outside of the window. Not a full face, just the eyes. Wide, unblinking, staring directly at me. They weren't human. They were too dark, too hollow, too empty, like 2 endless pits of shadow pretending to be eyes. I slapped a hand over my mouth to stop a scream from escaping. The eyes didn't blink, didn't move. They just watched me. My phone buzzed again. Another message. But this one wasn't from our eyes. The sender's name was the same as before. Unknown. The message read, "You weren't supposed to see him yet." I dropped the phone. When I looked back at the window, the eyes were gone, but the faint outline of a handprint, cold and smeared, remained on the glass. I whispered into the empty room, trembling, "What is happening?" And the room seemed to whisper back. The moment the eyes disappeared, the room felt even quieter. Too quiet. Like the silence itself was waiting for my next move. I forced myself to pick up my phone, but my hands were shaking so badly the screen blurred. I wiped my palms on my dress and tried to steady my breathing, but nothing felt normal anymore. Our eyes still hadn't arrived, and I was beginning to wonder if he even would. The corridor outside our room suddenly echoed with a soft thud. Not loud, not violent, just intentional. I moved toward the door on shaky legs, pressing my ear against it without fully meaning to. For a moment, nothing. Then, a slow inhale. Right on the other side. I jerked back, stumbling into the dresser. A small bottle toppled and rolled across the floor, the sound way too loud in the suffocating stillness. Before I could recover, someone started sliding something under the door. Piece of paper. Just like last time. I stared at it, too scared to touch it at first. The edge was old, slightly torn, like it had been ripped from a book that had been forgotten for decades. I finally crouched down and picked it up. There was a single sentence written in rushed, shaky handwriting. "He left because he saw what was waiting for you." My breath caught. Cold rushed up my spine. Our eyes had left me alone on our wedding night because he saw someone? Or something. The paper slipped from my fingers, landing softly on the carpet. My phone buzzed again. "Alright, I'm almost there. Do not trust anyone. Not even the staff. Keep the lights on." I turned around immediately and scanned the room. The lights were already on, but suddenly they felt dimmer, like the brightness had been drained, leaving the room in a sickly yellow glow. Just then the bedside lamp flickered. Once, twice, then went out. I gasped. The main ceiling light dimmed as well, struggling to stay alive. Shadows crept across the walls, merging into corners that seemed deeper than they should be. The air thickened, like someone had opened a door to a colder world. A low humming sound vibrated through the floorboards. Not mechanical, not electrical. Alive. Something moved behind me. Slowly, deliberately. I turned around in a panic, expecting to see someone standing near the window, but there was nothing, only that faint handprint still fresh on the glass. A sudden chill swept across my shoulder, as if someone brushed past me, but there was no one there. I reached for the main switch near the door, desperate to get the lights fully back on, but before my fingers touched it, the room's phone rang. Loud, sharp, echoing. I stared at it, frozen. No one had that number. The phone kept ringing, each tone crawling deeper into my chest. Finally, with trembling fingers, I picked it up. Hello? A long static-filled pause. Then a voice I recognized instantly. Arise. But his voice sounded strained, faint, like he was speaking through water. His whisper cracked through the static. Don't open the door. He's not alone anymore. The call dropped, and then a knock. Right behind me. Soft, steady, and unmistakably human. But I knew it wasn't. The knock behind me was gentle, almost polite. A kind of knock a guest would make at a hotel room. Except this wasn't a guest. And it wasn't human. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The air around me changed, thicker, colder, pressing against my skin like invisible fingers. The knock came again, this time slightly firmer. Not angry, just persistent. My heart thudded so loudly I was sure whoever stood outside could hear it. I gripped the phone, even though the call had already disconnected. Another knock. Then a pause. Then a slow dragging sound like nails sliding lightly across the wooden door. Tracing it. Studying me. My breath hitched. I felt something deep inside me whisper, if you open that door, everything ends. I took one step back. Then another. But the dragging sound followed, moving across the door's surface, matching my steps as if whatever was outside could sense exactly where I was. Suddenly the peephole darkened. Something blocked it. A face? An eye? A shadow? I didn't dare look. The doorknob twitched. Just a small movement, but enough to send terror racing through my veins. Whoever or whatever was outside was trying to get in. My phone buzzed again. Alright, I'm on your floor. Stay away from the door. If anyone calls your name, don't answer. A second message came instantly after. Not even if it sounds like me. My mouth went dry, because just then, from the other side of the door, a soft voice whispered my name. It sounded exactly like our eyes. Exactly. My knees nearly buckled. My mind screamed it wasn't him, couldn't be him. His real voice had sounded strained, distant, scared. But this voice, this one sounded perfect. Warm. Familiar. Like the person I loved most was standing right outside. But it wasn't him. Our eyes? I whispered without thinking. The voice mirrored me instantly. Our eyes? Same tone. Same breath. Same pitch. Like it was copying me. I slapped a hand over my mouth, terrified. The doorknob twisted again, this time harder. Rattling. Shaking. The thing outside dropped the pretense. It wasn't knocking anymore. It wanted in. I backed up until my legs hit the bed. I climbed onto it as if height alone could protect me. The lights flickered violently, buzzing as if they were being drained. Then suddenly, silence. Complete, suffocating silence. The doorknob stopped moving. The air warmed. Slightly. Barely. And a single sheet of paper slid under the door. I stared at it, unable to move. Finally, with trembling fingers, I reached down and pulled it closer. There were only 3 words written on it. 3 words that made my blood freeze. He found you. Before I could even process it, I heard footsteps in the hallway. Fast. Running. And then, our eyes' real voice, breathless and panicked. Open the door. It's me. Now. But how was I supposed to know? Which voice belonged to my husband? And which one belonged to the thing pretending to be him? I stayed frozen on the bed, staring at the door while my heart slammed against my ribs. 2 voices. Both claiming to be our eyes. Both calling me at the same time. One inside the phone. One outside the door. Both impossible to trust. The footsteps stopped right outside the room. Then came the pounding. Real. Human. Urgent. Open the door. The voice cried again, louder this time. It's me, please. But after what I'd heard, what I'd seen, I couldn't move. My phone vibrated violently in my hand. A message. From Arise. I opened it with shaking fingers. I'm not at the door. My blood turned to ice. I lifted my eyes to the wooden door in front of me. The knocking outside stopped instantly, as if the person, or thing, knew exactly what message I had just read. Then the voice spoke again, but this time the tone had changed. Lower. Rougher. Wrong. Open the door, wife. My stomach dropped. Our eyes never called me that. Not even once. The lights flickered violently, the room trembling with a strange pressure. Heavy, suffocating, like something was crawling through the walls. I jumped off the bed and backed into the corner, gripping the phone like a weapon. The voice outside chuckled. Not human. Not close. Not even trying to imitate anymore. A slow, dragging sound swept across the door again, claws scraping the wood as if drawing invisible marks. Then, a whisper slipped under the crack, thick and cold. You can't hide from him. I squeezed my eyes shut, fighting tears, fighting panic. My chest burned with fear. I didn't know who him was, but I knew one thing. He was already inside the hotel. He had been waiting. My phone lit up again. Another message from Our Eyes. I'm coming up the elevator. Stay where you are. I promise you, when you hear my voice for the third time, it'll really be me. I stared at the message. Third time. So the one on the phone didn't count? Or did it? My thoughts spiraled in a storm of confusion. A loud ding echoed from the hallway. The elevator. The thing outside the door went completely still. No breathing. No sound. Just waiting. I held my breath. Footsteps echoed from the hallway, measured, steady, approaching the room. Then, Our Eyes' voice. The real one. Warm. Tired. Human. Please open the door. That was the first time. I didn't move. A moment passed. Then his voice again, closer this time, just on the other side of the wood, but softer, gentler, as if he knew how terrified I was. It's really me. I'm right here. That was the second time. I stood perfectly still, waiting, praying. Another step. The sound of his hand resting on the doorknob, but not turning it. Then his voice one last time. The third time. But this time, he said something he always said when I was scared. A sentence he had whispered to me years before, when we were just two strangers caught in a storm. I won't let anything take you from me. My chest broke open. That was him. Without thinking, I rushed toward the door. But the moment I touched the handle, something on the other side slammed against it hard. A deep, furious growl rattled through the wood. Not human. Not even close. Our Eyes shouted. Move back. I stumbled away from the door just as a long black arm slid through the gap under the door. Thin, bone-like, reaching blindly, searching the floor. Searching for me. The arm slid farther into the room, longer than any human arm should ever be. Its joints bending at angles that made my stomach twist. It scraped across the carpet, fingers twitching wildly, searching, sniffing, feeling for me. I scrambled backward on the floor, my breath breaking into sharp gasps. The air turned thick and bitter, like old dust and something rotten mixed together. Our Eyes pounded the door from the other side. Move away from it. Don't let it touch you, he yelled, voice strained and panicked. But the thing outside, it wasn't focused on him. It was focused on me. The arm dragged itself closer, joints cracking with every inch. The fingers, too many fingers, moved like they had minds of their own, curling, uncurling, tapping, tasting. My back hit the dresser. I had nowhere left to go. The arm stopped inches from my foot. A finger brushed the carpet. Another grazed my ankle. The cold was unbearable, like being touched by something that had never known warmth, never known life. A low groan vibrated through the door, deep and hungry. Then, a flash of metal. Our Eyes' hand shoved something through the gap beside the arm. A hotel keycard. To your left. Our Eyes shouted. Use it now. I grabbed it with shaking fingers. Before the creature's hand could reach me fully, the lights above flickered violently, buzzing like they were about to explode. Then, the entire room plunged into complete darkness. Only the thin sliver of hallway light seeped in beneath the door, illuminating the monstrous arm on the floor in a sick reddish glow. I heard it move. Fast. Too fast. Its fingers shot upward, clawing at the underside of the door. But suddenly a burst of pure white light blasted through the gap. The creature shrieked. A scream so sharp and inhuman it felt like it cut straight into my bones. The arm jerked violently, twisting, writhing, pulling back through the door in a frantic rush. Then it was gone. A heavy thud echoed outside, followed by rapid footsteps sprinting away down the hall. Then, silence. Pure shaking silence. The lights flickered back on, dim but alive. I sat frozen on the carpet, clutching the keycard so tightly its edges cut into my palm. Ari's voice came again, breathless, shaking. "Open the door. It's safe." This time I didn't hesitate. I unlocked it with trembling fingers and threw the door open. Ari stood there, disheveled, pale, eyes wide with fear. But real. Real. He grabbed my shoulders and pulled me close, holding me as if he was afraid I'd disappear. "I'm so sorry," he whispered into my hair. "I should have never brought you here." I pulled back, my voice breaking. "What is happening? What was that thing?" He didn't answer. Not at first. He only looked down the hallway, toward the old, abandoned wing of the hotel. His jaw clenched tight, his eyes full of the kind of fear people don't talk about. "We need to leave," he finally said, "before he comes back." The same word written on the notes. The same word whispered through the hotel walls. The same presence that had watched me from the window. I swallowed hard. Who is he? Ari's eyes glistened, and the pain in them told me something terrifying. The answer wasn't simple, wasn't new, and wasn't something he had just discovered. He had known. He had known all along. "Please," he whispered, voice trembling. "Not here. I'll explain everything, once we're far away from this floor." But deep down, a quiet truth settled like ice in my chest. This wasn't just a hotel haunting. This was personal. And the thing hunting us, it wasn't here by accident. Our eyes grabbed my hand and pulled me into the hallway, his steps fast but careful, as if every sound might wake something we couldn't fight again. The corridor stretched ahead, dim lights flickering, shadows pressed against the walls like they were listening. I kept close to him, but my mind was spinning. The notes, the doors, the arm, the whisper that sounded like him, the thing that knew my name. Everything pointed to one truth. Our eyes hadn't brought me here accidentally. This place was connected to him, deeply. "Slow down," I whispered, my chest tight. "Tell me what's happening." He didn't answer. He only squeezed my hand harder. We reached the elevator and he stabbed the button repeatedly. The doors opened with a groan that echoed too loudly in the silence. We stepped inside. The doors slid shut. For a moment, just a moment, I let out a breath. Safe. But as the elevator began moving, descending floor by floor, the small light above us flickered once, then steadied. Our eyes leaned against the wall, rubbing his face with both hands. "I should have told you before," he said quietly, guilt thick in his voice. "But I was scared you'd leave me." "Tell me what?" My voice cracked. He hesitated, and that hesitation hurt more than anything else. The elevator creaked as it passed another floor. Finally, he met my eyes. "There's a reason I chose this hotel." My breath caught. He continued, voice low. "When I was a kid, my family lived near here. My father used to work in the old wing. Room 314. A pause. That room was shut down because people went missing. Not by ghosts. Not by shadows. By him." The elevator jerked slightly, as if something brushed against the cables. Our eyes swallowed hard. "I saw him once," he whispered. "I was 12. My throat went tight. "What did you see?" He shook his head slowly. "Not a person. Not a spirit. Something in between. Something wearing us like masks." My chest tightened. Why would it come for me? Our eyes looked away, and in that silence, I got my answer. It wasn't random. It wasn't chance. It wasn't a haunting that chose any guest. Chose me, because of him. Our eyes, my voice trembled. "Tell me the truth." He wiped tears from his jaw, his voice breaking. "I thought if I brought you here, he would show himself to me again." He looked up, eyes wet and terrified. "Not to you. Never to you. My stomach dropped. You used me, I whispered. The elevator grew colder. The lights dimmed. Our eyes stepped forward quickly. No, it wasn't like that. I didn't know he would. But the elevator lights snapped off. Pitch black. Our eyes grabbed me instantly. It's him, he breathed, voice shaking. Stay close. A soft scraping noise echoed above us. Something crawling on top of the elevator. My blood froze. A slow tap 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 sounded on the metal roof. Our eyes pulled me against him, whispering, "Don't say a word." The tapping stopped. Silence. Then, a distorted, broken version of my own voice whispered from above, "Why did you follow him here?" The elevator dropped an inch. A sudden jolt. I screamed before I could stop myself. The thing above mimicked my scream perfectly. Our eyes held me tighter. "Don't listen. He's trying to break you." I shook uncontrollably. The scraping sound moved along the elevator roof, stopping directly above us. Then, a finger pushed through the tiny gap in the emergency hatch. Long, black, bent, searching again. "This is my fault," our eyes whispered. "But I'm not letting him take you. Not again." Again? My eyes widened. But before I could ask, the emergency hatch began to lift. Metal bending, screws popping, light flooding through the widening gap. And then, a face lowered itself through the opening. A twisted, stretched version of my own face, grinning with lips too wide to be human. It spoke in my perfect voice. "Come with me. He can't save you." Our eyes shoved me behind him and screamed, "Get away from her." The elevator lurched and plummeted. The world flipped upside down. The elevator dropped faster than my mind could process, my stomach twisting as gravity seemed to vanish, and then slam me back against the floor. Our eyes pinned me to his chest, his arms tight, unrelenting. The lights flickered violently, then burst completely, leaving us in absolute darkness. I felt the creature above the hatch move again, fingers grazing the ceiling, nails scraping metal in a sound that made my bones shiver. It was laughing, my voice distorted, echoing through the shaft. "Come with me," it hissed. "Come or he dies." Our eyes gritted his teeth. "Ignore it. Stay with me." The elevator jolted again, grinding against the cables. Sparks flew from the ceiling. The air smelled like burnt metal. My hair whipped into my face. My eyes stung. My heart raced so fast I thought it would explode. Then silence. Complete, unbelievable silence. We were still moving, but slower now, descending carefully. Our eyes' whisper broke the quiet. "They're testing us, seeing how far they can push us before the end." I shivered, my lips trembling. "End? What end?" He exhaled sharply. "The one they've been waiting for me. All these years. That thing, it doesn't just hunt random people. It hunts a family line. Mine. And now it's after us." My stomach churned. The black shape, the mimic, the arm, it was all part of this nightmare tied to him. But why me? Why tonight? The elevator jolted violently again. The doors shuttered but didn't open. And then another sound. Footsteps behind us. Slow, deliberate, heavy. We weren't alone in the elevator. Our eyes moved in front of me. "Don't look back." I felt its breath before I heard it. Cold, wet, metallic, crawling across my neck. A shadow pressed against me from behind, twisting, shifting, not human, not fully here. Then a whisper, my own voice again, taunting, seductive. "Why fight him? He knows everything about you." I screamed, throwing myself into our eyes. He caught me, spinning us both to face the tiny gap above the hatch. The black face, my face, peeked again, grinning wider, eyes hollow, unblinking. "Stop running," it hissed. "Your turn is next." The elevator jolted a final time. Sparks flew, the cables groaned. And then silence. We were at the lobby. The doors opened. Fresh air rushed in, cold and real. Our eyes pulled me out, dragging me onto solid ground. I turned back, heart pounding, to see the elevator doors close behind us. Nothing inside. No shape. No face. No arm. Just the faint echo of a whisper. "This isn't over." Our eyes held me tight, his face pale, eyes wild. "We're alive. For now." I nodded, trembling, not trusting my own voice. not trusting the world. As I knew, the thing that haunted us wasn't gone. It was waiting, and it always would be. The lobby felt unreal, silent, cold, and empty. No guests, no staff, no sound except our own ragged breathing. Our eyes held me close, his chest heaving. I could feel his heartbeat, fast, frantic. Mine was even faster. "Are we safe?" I whispered, my voice trembling. He shook his head slowly. "For now. But it knows we escaped. It knows you're here." I tried to stand straighter to find some sense of control, but my legs were weak, trembling uncontrollably. Suddenly, a soft metallic click echoed through the lobby. I froze. Our eyes stiffened. The sound came from the elevator. The doors opened slowly. Empty. Silent. But then I saw it. A faint shadow gliding along the wall, too tall, too thin, moving in impossible ways. Its head turned toward us, a hollow shape where a face should be. It stopped. Just stood there. Watching. Then it whispered, my own voice again, perfectly mimicked. "You can't run forever." I gasped. Our eyes pulled me closer, his hand trembling on the small of my back. "We have to leave," he said firmly. "Outside. Now." We ran. Through the lobby doors. Into the cold, empty streets. The night air bit at my skin, sharp and real. No shadows. No whispers. For a moment I let myself breathe. But I knew. It wasn't over. It would never be over. And deep down I realized the terrifying truth. The thing that hunted us was patient. It waited. It remembered. And one day it would come back. Our eyes held me tight as we disappeared into the night. Neither of us looked back. But in the dark, silent lobby, the faintest whisper lingered. "I'll see you again."